Welcome to Livzenastrology, the channel for updates and reflections, where we are grounded in the stars and elevated by consciousness. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Livzenastrology Podcast. My name is Carmela Yvette, and I'm here to just kind of share some energy with you guys as to what we may be experiencing right now, real time, within the collective energies. So I wanted to go ahead because I had just done a chart session, so I was kind of already set up with my equipment here and looking at my my Astro Gold professional astrology chart, and I decided to go ahead and pull up a chart for today, November 7th, 2023. And for those listening on the podcast, you can check out my YouTube channel for the recording of this, so you can see the configurations. Otherwise, you can just listen if you can, and use your imagination station as we're talking about the symbols and the configurations. So as I was looking at the chart today, what really struck out to me, and the way I look at astrology, and when I'm looking at these charts, right, there can be so much to be looked at when you're looking at astrology, and especially when you're looking at the birth chart. And so I went ahead today and I put it for 0 degrees Aries. So it kind of follows the wheels as the astrological wheel starts, with Aries being the first sign and Pisces being the last. So it follows in a counterclockwise direction if you're looking at the chart. And the symbol that really stuck out to me today, that was coming in really strong, was Venus. So this is the planet Venus right here, this little symbol, and she's in Virgo, and she's at 29 degrees. So 29 degrees in astrology is what's called the anaretic, or the last degree point when a planet transits a sign. And this is significant because if you think of alchemy, right, when you're starting an alchemic process, say you're creating an essential oil, right, and you have to distill it. You have to start with, crushing the flowers, the plants, and then you have to go through this process of steam distillation. And then you have to, allow the essence of the plant and the flower to come into form by distilling it, by evaporating the excess, and whatever's left in this process is the most distilled part of what it is you're creating. So the anaretic in astrology, the 29 degree point, is the most distilled part of the frequency of Virgo, especially with Virgo in Venus. And Venus being our love and money planet, what we're drawn to, what we're magnetized to, what is magnetized to us. And with Virgo, it's all about purity, purification. It's about cleanliness. It's about our everyday routine. It's our work and service to others. And so since it's at the last degree point, or the anaretic point, what's being distilled, or the essence of what this transit with Venus and Virgos is getting ready to go into Libra, what it's showing me today is that the divine alchemy of Venus, the really our love and our passion and what we've been drawn to, has been about cleansing our systems, cleansing our thought processes, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which rules the mind, cleansing how we think, how we communicate, because again, Mercury also rules communication, thought forms, commerce, mercantiles, again, how we exchange with money with the other. And so with Venus, it's really about coming clean and getting clear with how we exchange our thoughts, our words, our environment. How well do we keep our space clean? How well are we cleaning up our bodies, which also is part of the alchemy, because there's a sextile happening. So there's a 60 degree aspect. So Venus is going to be 60 degrees away from Mercury, which is in Scorpio. And Mercury, we just talked about, is the mind. Well, in Scorpio, it's changing things. It's turning lead into gold. There's already an alchemic process that's happening with Scorpio. So this has been a very deeply transformative time for us to clean up our thoughts, clean up our words, clean up our environment, clean up our bodies, because now Venus is going to be moving into her sign of Libra, which she's very at home at, right? She's in her what's called exaltation, And so in other words, she's exalted in Libra, right? So in Libra, it's all about our relationships. It's about our how we relate to the other, and in all of our work and in all of our environments. So whether it's showing up in work, which would be the 10th house, whether it's showing up in our home, which would be the 4th house, all our interpersonal relationships, which would be 7th house, our relationship to spirituality, the 12th house. So how Venus is going to be showing up for you, where it's transiting, is going to be individuated to your own chart. But as a collective, Venus in Libra loves to be in Libra. It's about balance. It's about beauty, harmony, collaboration, cooperation. Libra is all about wanting peace. So now that we've done the work with Venus being in Virgo, cleaning up our act, cleaning up our thoughts, getting into these sacred practices, these sacred routines of being consistent with purifying. Now we're moving into a frequency is how are we going to relate to these new thought forms, these new patterns? How are we going to relate it to the other? So this is the time right now where we're moving into this frequency begins tomorrow, but we're already starting to kind of feel, especially with Venus being in the last day of Virgo, look around your space. What final cleaning needs to be done for you to make room for a new relationship? Because with Libra season, Scorpio season going into Sagittarius, it's all about relationships, how we relate to ourselves, the other. We might be drawing in romantic partnerships. We might be drawing in new business relationships, new relationship patterns. And so Venus now is asking through Libra to really focus in on the beauty of the other. Can you see the other's highest version of self? Can you see their, without being so critical? Because, with Libra, it's all about judgment. So maybe reframing from the judgments that we impose on the other, but can we see the other in their highest light, in their most robust, harmonious, beautiful aspects? Can we envision that? Can we see that within the other? Because now we're clear. We have clear vision, right? Speaking of clear vision, it's funny. I'm going to go ahead and practice this. I've actually been using, I saw this on TikTok and I thought it was really fascinating, using castor oil, on 1 drop of castor oil on your eyelids to clear up any kind of eye imbalances. So sometimes, we see floaty things in our eyes, and that's, I think when you get older, you start going through that, or, your vision starts getting a little bit askewed. So using castor oil on my lids have been helping me break up if you have any kind of cataracts or anything along those lines, or again, you want to improve your vision using castor oil. So I've been practicing using castor oil on my lids, right, as part of my purification. And just again, cleaning up how I see things in the world. So as above, so below, as within, so without. Again, this is a metaphor, is as you clean up your body, you're going to be also cleaning up how you act, how you behave, how you think, how you translate things into your world. And so you want a better reality, you have to do things in a better way. So with Virgo, with Venus and Virgo, it's all been about improving the systems, right? Improving the systems of your body. And so I wanted to do a quick card pull too, because I love working with divination tools and practical tools as well. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Louise Hay, but she has this beautiful little card deck. She's actually got a book that she's created. And again, how to get into your body, how to love your body, and how to better take care of your body, and how there's body parts are also related to our emotional needs and to our relationships, right? So when you take care of your body, you know how to learn to take better care of the other, because you're in a better space. You're more clear. Your perspective is different. So I wanted to do a quick card pull today for the collective to see which body part, because I also wanted to invite in an awareness that we are a collective body. So every single one of us here on this planet is part of a bigger body system. And we may have perceived ourselves different because, say, for example, if some of us come from the heart space, right? Literally the organ of the heart, it's going to look different than the organ of the colon or the organ of the liver, right? So there's different realms within the body but they're all part of the bigger body system. So this is just an opportunity for us to unify our perspective, and that, hey, we're all part of this unified system, this one body of energy, but we may be residing in different organ parts for different frequencies. And from that point of view, it's going to look different. So what I wanted to offer is just a collective reading, a collective card pull of what part of the body collectively that we all could be working with as an individuated self, but also maybe which part of the body in the world could use some love, can use some help. So that's something for you to meditate on and to contemplate. Again, this is also part of astrophysiology, that if you want to study that, there's some great YouTube videos that talk more about astrophysiology, about how the body is really connected to the stars and the planetary energies. And so from that point of the fractal, I just wanted to do a card pull from, again, the Love Your Body, Louise Hayes, and see collectively what part of our body, since we're in the last part of this Virgo and Venus. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what came up was, I love my buttocks, right? So this is root. We think about of the part of the body that rules the buttocks. That's also Sagittarius, right? It's the lower half. It's Scorpio Sagittarius. So it's perfect that we're in Scorpio season, getting ready to move into Sagittarius season at the end of the month. So everything's always a correspondence to something else. So I think it's kind of beautiful. And there's actually a mantra that goes along with it that says, I use my power wisely. I am strong. I am safe. All is well. So we know that the lower part of the body has to do with root. If you work with chakra systems, which are spinning wheels of life, in the Ayurvedic world in Sanskrit, if you're working with that culture and you're working with the tools of Ayurveda, Sanskrit and chakras have to do with spinning wheels of light. And the first spinning wheel of light on the bottom row of our bodies is the root. So it's funny that it's actually red, the color for the mantra. And the root has to do with safety, security. It's our foundation. It's our money, how we secure ourselves. So if you have a secure root, if you have a secure foundation, then think of it like a root system on a tree. Then your fruits that exist on the branches of your body will be robust. They'll be healthy, right? So this is also part of the Virgo season that we're just coming out of. We needed to clean up our roots. We needed to clean up our possibly ancestral patterns, things that maybe our ancestors have done in the past before that they needed to do to survive. But now the frequency has shifted. Now we have moved. We have evolved into a new way of being. So maybe those old patterns no longer serve where we are now. So we just came off of this Day of the Dead, Samhain, All Saints Days, where they say that the veils of consciousness are thin, where you can actually access your ancestors during this time period. And I feel like this is tied into also the frequency of where Venus was moving through, purifying those connections, purifying our relationships with our ancestors, and maybe exercising forgiveness and our perception of what they did that maybe wasn't, they did what they had to do to survive. And now that's changed. So can we live in the now moment? Can we live in the now present moment to do the work, to beautify our space in a different way that's more in aligned with where we have evolved to now in this now time? Because in my personal opinion, being present in the presence of now is a technology. It's actually a really effective technology point. I call it 0 point, because when you're in the now, then you have access to all things present of what you need to do for the next now, right? So if you stay present with your thoughts, stay present with your body, listen. Now that you've cleared up your act, now that you've cleared up your environment, you've allowed the spin to be just a little bit different. Now, how are you going to, as Venus is getting ready to enter Libra, how are you going to relate that to the other? How are you going to improve your relationship dynamics? How are you going to speak in a different tone to your loved ones? How are you going to allow yourself to be spoken to and related to in a different way? So these are just points of interest, again, because we're still in Scorpio season. We still have Mars conjunct the sun right here in Scorpio. Mars is our action. It's our masculine. It's our primal life force energy. The sun is how we're shining that energy. And of course, through Scorpio, it's about, changing. It's about transforming our actions, how we shine our light in our relationships now, because Venus is getting ready to come up and say, hey, there's relationship dynamics that are going to present themselves. Are you clean? Are you clear? Or have you removed the cobwebs? Have you removed some of the parasites that have been in the bodies? Are you going to remove some of the parasitic energies perhaps that are around you within your relationships? And are you going to clear off the pathway to make room for perhaps new relationships, new work environments, new romantic patterns that want to come online? So these are just some of the reflections that were showing up in the astrology. And again, I already had to kind of set this up because I just did an astrology chart reading and I was really jazzed because I love doing it. I get so much value in being able to share astrology with others and helping people perceive themselves in just a different perspective using the gift of astrology. And so I just wanted to share with the collective maybe some points of insight that you might be navigating through, making you aware that we're getting ready to enter into Venus and Libra, which is, again, a very harmonic, a very uplifting way that Venus likes to show up, and especially in Libra. So, some points of interest on how to work with the Venus and Libra energy. Go to an art show, start hanging out with friends and family, dress up, do your makeup, do all the Venusian things, plant some flowers, put some beautiful roses around you, put some, things that are beautiful around you to really lead the path of the beauty way, because that's what we're moving into to create more harmony and balance within our relationships. Through Venus and Virgo, we had to harmonize our relationship with our own personal vessel, with our own minds. And now we're getting ready to express the new aspect of us that has been purified in a new harmonious, beautiful way. And I know there's a lot going on right now with the collective. There's a lot of things that are being projected that are possibly unharmonious. But if you want to be the change, you have to literally be the change. So change up yourself, change up your act, clean out your vessel, which is what a lot of us have been doing already. And now it's time to relate. And now it's time to project this new relationship with ourselves onto the others, and just see how that improves your relationships all around you, and see if that can help you by taking these action steps, by beautifying yourself, by practicing the path of the beauty way, by really intending to see the beauty in the other, how that changes our dynamics, how that can change, how we show up for each other, what we perceive in each other. Try to refrain from the judgment. I call it judgment management. We're all going to judge. I don't think that ever goes away. But I'd like to, through Scorpio and possibly the sun shining its light, and especially since Mercury's still in Scorpio right now, getting ready to go to Sagittarius, how can you perceive how the other is behaving with less judgment? Manage the judgment. Try to alchemize and say, okay, I'm catching myself judging right now. Can I see them in a different light? Can I project onto them a way I'd like to see them behave rather than what I'm witnessing right now, which may be triggering me, or I may be judging them? Let me go do the work internally. Let me do some more cleansing, clearing. Let me, work on my root or my foundation where maybe I have not been safe, that I was not anchored into my own gnosis, my own beliefs, my own sense of self, security, safety. What can I do to alchemize that so that I can have a better experience with the other by doing the work internally? So this is just a point, again, of reflection, just as I was studying the astrology, and I hope this serves you guys. I hope this brings some insight into maybe how to work with these energies. And again, check out Livzenastrology. If you liked any of his content, please check out the page on YouTube. That really helps the channel grow, helps the algorithms, and it helps really expand the message of this channel, which is unity, that all is self, that there is nothing outside of us that is not us. And just really anchoring this unity consciousness to have us have a more better, harmonious, beautiful, fun, joyful experience of this realm. That's the intention of this channel. So Anyway, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. I love you guys. Many blessings to you. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Enjoy this Venus and Virgo. Libra. Venus and Libra. That's what I meant. Bye.